The macroeconomic aims of government. So basically in this chapter, we're going to be looking at what are the macroeconomic aims of the government. When we talk about macroeconomics, it is dealing with the entire economy. You are not dealing with individual entities, but we're dealing with the entire economy. So macro means when something at is dealt at large. So you are not dealing with one single firm or one individual, or you're not dealing with one industry, but you're dealing with the entire economy. And when you're dealing with the entire economy, that is known as macroeconomics. Now, further, we're going to be looking at the macroeconomic objectives of the government. Um, in which we're going to be looking at economic growth, full employment, then it's going to be low unemployment, stable prices, low inflation, balance of payment stability, redistribution of income. Reasons behind the choice of aims and the criteria that government sets for each aim. And then the ironic part is that once you achieve one aim, it might become conflicting with other one. Once you achieve this, it might become conflicting with this one. If you achieve this, it might become conflicting with the other aim. So there are certain conflicts that occur between the different aims that we're going to be looking at as well. The macroeconomic aims of the government. Before starting off with this topic, you need to pause and write what you already know about the aims that any government could have about or for its economy. Now, the role of the government is basically in order to provide services to the people, services such as married goods, health, education, and then we have public goods such as streetlight parks where nobody can be exempted from its consumption, everyone uses it. Then we have welfare services like pensions, benefits, unemployment benefits. Then we have public services such as police station, fire stations, waste management, and then we have infrastructure such as roads, telecommunication. So there are different services being provided by the government to their economies. Now, if you look at it, we start off with the first aim, that is economic growth. Economic growth means that overall the GDP of the economy, that is the gross domestic product, gross domestic product, the number of output or the number of goods and services being produced in that particular economy over a period of time. So goods and services, the amount of goods and services. So the amount, the value of the goods and services, the value, the amount generated through the consumption and production of these goods and services produced in an economy, for example, for a fiscal year, like one fiscal year for like definitely it has been measured through the fiscal year. So we're going to be talking about the fiscal year. So that is it, that leads to if we have higher GDP, it means that the economy is growing. But if it falls, then it might be because of recession as well. Fall in employment, income, and living standard of people. So people when there's recession, so there's more unemployment, incomes fall, and the living standard of the people also deteriorates. And the tax revenue, because money, the revenue generated for the government is through taxes, so that also falls in case of recession. Then profits fall, everything becomes worse in the economic recessions. Then price stability. All the governments, what they basically want is that their prices should be stable. And that can only be achieved when there is controlled inflation. Right now, if you look at Pakistan, Pakistan has the inflation rate is accelerating at a very high rate, and it has become really it has aggravated a lot. And if you look at if you look at the aim of the government, so they have been unable to achieve the aim from the inflation perspective. Inflation is going very high and increasing rapidly. So price stability, inflation is a continuous rise in the average price level in the economy during a period of time. Government usually targets an inflation rate it could maintain in a year. So basically, when inflation happens, everything becomes expensive. So the purchasing power of the people deteriorates. How does it deteriorate? That if, for example, your income was $1,000 before, and you could purchase, for example, a thing for $10, now that thing has turned into like $30, and similarly, everything's price has increased. So your power to purchase a thing has reduced. So inflation is a very unwanted sort of situation that occurs in an economy because of multiple reasons. But it leads to poverty in the economy. It leads to deterioration in the performance of the economy. There's no economic growth after inflation because people would reduce their consumption. Definitely, they cannot immediately stop. or fully stop, but they would somehow reduce it because the purchasing power would fall. Then, thirdly, the government also wants full employment. Now, why does it want full employment? Because, firstly, when it would reduce the burden on the government by the benefit it was previously paying to the unemployed people. Secondly, when there's going to be employment, there's going to be more money in the economy. People would have more income, which will increase their purchasing power. When they'll have more purchasing power, then they'll buy more. They'll buy more things. When they'll buy more things, that would support the producers, and overall, the GDP of the economy would increase. The circulation of money in the economy would increase, and that is everything is intertwined with each other. Governments will have to give out welfare payments if there is unemployment, and if there's employment, then government would not have to give these welfare payments. Then large unemployment causes public unrest and anger towards, and it also leads to crime, higher crime rate. So when there's going to be full employment, then there's going to be lower uh, crime rate. Now, as we move further with it, we see that then it's the balance of payment stability. Basically, balance of payment is the balance between imports and exports in a country. So when the exports are more than imports, we have surplus in balance of payment. When exports are less than imports, there's a deficit, because now in this case, more cash is flowing into our economy, and in the second case where there's a deficit in balance of payment, more cash is flowing out of our economy. And this is not a very, this is a very unfavorable situation, while this one is a favorable situation. Okay, so balance of payment stability is when economies exports sell, which export is selling your goods to the other countries, many of their products to overseas residents, and receive income and investment from abroad. Whereas on the other hand, they also import, which is buying goods from the other countries, goods and services from other economies, make investment in the other economies. They record in balance of payment. So this is the case in each of them, imports and exports, which I've explained about. If it exports too little and imports too much, the economy might run out of foreign currency to buy further imports. A balance of payment deficit causes the value of its currency to fall against other foreign currencies and make imports more expensive to buy, while a balance of payment surplus causes its currency to rise against other foreign currencies and makes its exports cheaper in the international market, which later on enhances or increases its exports, which leads towards favorable balance of trade. Then it's income redistribution. Now, what any government basically aims is they want to have the least income disparity in their economy. They do not want the rich to be the richest and the poor to be the poorest. They want to have a very balanced sort of economy, which is a very ideal situation. This usually does not happen, but if that happens, this is what the government aims at. So now you have to pause and summarize whatever you've learned here. And in the next session, we're going to be talking about the possible conflicts that we can have in these macroeconomic aims. Thank you.